Hey, this is Patrick Bryce from the Creep series, and There's Someone Inside Your House and Corporate Animals, and this is Don't Go Out There.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, let's jump into the film review. We're concluding April's free themed month with Brother Dustin's pick. Dustin, you announce your pick and why you picked it?
I picked Corporate Animals. I watched this movie for the first time February 18th of this year in preparation for our interview with Patrick Bryce, don'tgoouthere.com. And man, was I glad that I did. Like, this is the definition to me of a guilty pleasure horror comedy movie for me. Like, it's just completely absurd, and I think it's hilarious. So immediately it went on my list of movies to pick. I think the cast is great. I mean, not only does it have Demi Moore and Ed Helms, but also Senator Clay Davis. Shout out to the top 3 show ever, The Wire. He'll always be Clay Davis to me. And Callum Worthy, who right before I watched this movie for the first time, I had just watched a Neon movie called Bodied, which is another hilarious movie about battle rap. I recommend that movie to everyone. It's so funny. But anyway, I didn't expect for y'all to love this movie, but that's okay. Like, I picked this one for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't you fucking pick A24 movies for you every single goddamn week?
Nope.
What do you mean? You're a selfish motherfucker.
That is to get under your, which I guess also is for me. So yeah, you're right.
You pick it to get under the skin, dare I say? It's a A24 movie.
Out of here. Get me out of here.
But anywho, I thought the movie was funny at times. I almost said the wrong name. Demi Moore, she does give a very good performance. I give her big props for that. But I don't know. The movie just gets monotonous to me. Even if it's got a short runtime, the humor doesn't do enough for me to keep me invested. And towards the end, we get kind of weird, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, we're in some fantasy world. Bro gets naked out of nowhere. Dude has a weird looking flesh wound that starts singing Britney Spears. I don't know what the hell's going on. I didn't love it, but it was worth one watch. And shout out to Patrick Bryce. He was a really cool interview. So I'm glad we're covering one of his movies.
Two things. Did you almost call her Drew Barrymore?
I almost said Drew Barrymore. I don't know where that came from.
And then secondly, man, you're going to sit there and, own a fireworks stand and not even having Husker Du. But this movie is about the descent into madness. They've been starved and depraved in a cave for days. That's what the hallucinations are about.
I don't think it's about that. Oh, okay. I think it's a little funny that we did this so closely to reviewing Leslie Vernon, because I feel it's kind of the same way that I did about that one, and I enjoyed it. I think it has a lot of similarities to The Office, and I personally love The Office, and I think the cast is fantastic. I love Karan Sani. I hope I'm not taking anyone's fun fact here away when I say this, but Sharon Stone was originally cast in Demi Moore's role, and I'm sorry, Demi killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been way worse, in my opinion, with Sharon Stone in it. Demi has proven that she can do comedy, and proves it again here because she does a great job. I think it's a fun time. It's a short watch. I would definitely recommend this to anyone. I'm doing scene by scene, and honestly, I'm pretty interested in how the guys react to the scenes because there's a ton of dialogue in this movie. Kind of seems like a hard one to take notes on. It's almost like you're taking notes on an episode of The Office.
Yeah, I don't have much notes.
Yeah, so I had never seen this movie prior to Dustin picking. I never heard of this movie, but I looked at the cast. I was like, it can't be that bad. And I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't this, but like I sent in the group text earlier, it's literally The Descent meets The Office, and I like both of those things. So this, really was funny to me. Really fun commentary on corporate America and how much it fucking sucks most of the time, no matter how anybody wants to hide that. I think 9 times out of 10, it fucking blows to be in corporate America. Demi Moore is great. I wish Ed Helms was in this movie longer. The dynamic with Freddie and Jess is really, really good as well. So I was excited to dive in and see it, and I ended up really, really liking it. I thought it was hilarious. A couple LOL moments legitimately, because there's not a lot of comedies that I've seen in a long time that have made me laugh like this, that aren't ones I'd already seen, like, you go back and see it. So I was very excited to talk about it, man. I'm glad you picked it, Dustin.
Yeah, I almost texted the other night saying I'm glad I didn't have to do scene by scene for this one. Sorry I put that on you.
Well, no, that's good. Again, because there's a lot of dialogue, so my part's kind of short. I just will cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. So
Let's go. Quick episode.
All right. We open up with an infomercial about a new product called Edible Cutlery, and we meet Lucy, who is a pretty abusive, unethical, racist, egotistical CEO of this company. We also meet her right-hand lady, Jess, who is the recipient of said abuse. We then cut to Brandon's outdoor experience, where Lucy has signed up her employees for a team building exercise in New Mexico. And Andy Bernard, Ed Helms, is Brandon, this excursion's tour guide. The first exercise is pushing the boulder, to which the group fails miserably, resulting in a log snapping, shooting a piece into Aiden, the intern's, leg. Following this shit show, the team embarks on their finale, a hike into a cave. Amongst others, we also meet Freddie, who we find out used to be Lucy's right-hand man until he got tossed aside for Jess. And we find out the two are vying for the same promotion, one that Jess claims to already have. Brandon suggests they take the beginner's route. And Michael Scott, Lucy, instead forces everyone down the advanced route into the nearby cave system. We jump ahead a little bit where everyone has descended down a cliff, but Susie is absolutely terrified. Lucy forces her down, telling her to nut up and put her pussy into it, and we hear a conversation between two other employees, Gloria and May, and it seems as though their company is also in some financial troubles as May's paycheck bounced. As we enter the cave, we hear an employee mutter that their insurance does not cover this. And that's it for this first group of scenes.
Fucking health insurance, man. Anywho, good review talk here, but Demi Moore, I think she has a very good voice for voiceover. I think she should do more of it, honestly. She's kind of soothing. I'm glad you said it, Lucy. That was bullshit. An edible spoon? Was someone high when they wrote that concept? Like, give me a break with that. These two older guys groaning, trying to push this rock, like whatever it is, this rock ball or stone ball, whatever it is. Sounds like me trying to get out of bed. Boy, getting older is kicking my ass. This guy who got that wood in his leg, it looked painful as hell. And I thought it was hilarious how no one took his agony seriously. Like, they were just like, all right, this guy's hurt. Forget him. Where's OSHA? Where's the OSHA guy of the office? No one took this man's pain seriously. Beautiful nature shots. I know Brian hated them. I'm kidding, brother. Lucy, she pulled a Juno from The Descent, though, didn't she? Forcing everyone to take the advanced cave route. She's so oblivious. She thinks it's going to be easy. I like her spunk, but ain't no way in hell I'd do this shit. Descending these caves, I'll go get another job. No way. Ed Helms is funny. Obvious states the obvious. I think he's been great comedy as Brandon so far, and it kind of sucks he gets killed off so early. Sorry, Jess, but of and the are definitely words. No need to hurt those two words' feelings. They're very key in everyday conversation. I just did my impression of the guys from the breadbasket. Hope that went well. If it didn't, I won't do that ever again. All these people here think no one knows how to do their job. These are the kind of coworkers that I hate. But I will give Lucy some props. She's a lot like Lou Bloom. She won't ask anyone to do anything she wouldn't do.
Yeah, so, side note here, I actually watched this movie. My mic fell there. Sorry. It did it again. I don't understand this. I hate this thing. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I actually watched this movie, especially this open, while eating with a plastic fork. So I guess I'm contributing to the awful parts of society. I do apologize. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing dishes, man. What's one little plastic fork, huh? Anyway, uh, I agree that food becomes waste, but I have to eat and I have to shit, man. As you guys know on this show, how much I have to do. And I love the line of "Listen to the Beyonce inside of you." Jesus Christ! Again, these people were ahead of their time in 2019, or whenever the line was written. I mean, ahead of their time because the way that people treat Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande these days, that's very, very foreshadowing of how the pop culture lens kind of treats these artists now. Again, Demi Moore here is great. She's playing a tryhard, one of the bosses that everybody fucking hates. I think she's doing a great job. I think she's wonderful in this role. And then we get Ed Helms, which why isn't he in more shit, man? Like his comedic cadence is so damn funny. His timing is great. It's excellent. I love it. And I love Ed Helms in this film, even though, spoiler, he's not in it for very long, but whatever. And PSA to companies, a lot of these teamwork work retreats are just total BS, man. You have to spend a lot of time, and if it's not completely on your dime, then I have to spend money. And I see these people enough. I want to be with my family and outside of work friends. I don't want to be here with you guys. Why can't we just do this in office? I don't understand. I worked for 2 corporate, places, and I didn't like either one of those. So just kind of let you know where that is. I will say the gore on the leg cut looked really, really good for, the kind of movie that this is. And then her giving a stern talking to everybody right after that accident happened, it had me rolling, man. I think that, again, that Demi is great. Some nature shots, baby. Look at that desert. Shout out to Brian Hathaway. Good stuff there. And Freddie is, kind of talking like all of us. Hey, man, just do what you got to do to get by. Have fun outside of work because this job sucks. That's what, 95% of the workforce. Kind of sad when you think too long about it, but I'd rather not do that because this is a fun movie. So I love Jess. Did you just wink at me? It was so funny. No, I mean, it does it again. Again, Ed Helms is great here. Do whatever the fuck I say, which that made me laugh. The do's and the do not do's, which I've never heard before. It's always the do's and the don'ts. The do's and the do not do's are hilarious. I'm stealing that. I think that Jess and Freddie's banter is fun and gets more fun as the movie goes on. And like I mentioned, Moore is playing such an asshole in this movie. And I love her line here to end. This is my last thing. Nut up and put that pussy into it. Fucking fantastic. We should just end the movie right there because we're not going to top that. That's all I had on that set.
Yeah, the infomercial that we see, they actually got a company that really shoots infomercials to make that, which I think is cool. But right off the bat in the infomercial, we hear food is what we dream of and everything we fear. That is very true for me if the dreams we're talking about are chicken Alfredo and biscuits and gravy. And the fear is me if we're talking about most vegetables and strawberries. I'm allergic to strawberries. Keep them away. I like that despite the absurdity of the movie, it still has a good message about waste and harmful plastics here and later toxic corporate culture. And right off the bat, Demi Moore is just over the top and funny. Just immediately know that she's an obnoxious and annoying boss. Also, no shot I would be at this retreat. Anything outside the office isn't for me. You want me to team build? We can do that during work business hours. And you can get a great feel for the tone of the movie with the shard of wood that's stuck in Aiden's leg. Every scenario is just going to be amplified in this one. I loved when Billy said, nope. When Lucy said the biggest muscle in the body is the brain. Like, I laughed. She's so annoying, and his reaction was great. And he's got a couple of those that are great. I also like the competitive nature of Jess and Freddie's relationship here. Plant some seeds there. And hearing that the checks bounced and they're overdrawn, that plants good seeds too. I'm entertained by this open and I'm in already.
All right. We're entering the cave system that eventually leads to a larger cavern, which is lit by a small generator. We see Freddie and Jess make up and decide to help each other out at work. And Freddie discloses that they are, in fact, broke as a company. We experience a small earthquake, which unnerves the group, and panicked, Brandon tries to leave through the original, now even more narrow entrance, but is crushed to death by an aftershock, which brings the rocks down on him. After realizing their situation, the group begins to panic, and we get a Day 1 title card. They take inventory of food and supplies, and Aiden had a box of edible cutlery. God, I can't see how I can say that word. Cutlery, and Lucy makes everyone take just one prong. Aiden begins to hallucinate Britney Spears' voice, which there's a fun fact about that, which is pretty funny. And we see Lucy slip up and try to fuck Freddie, which we realize has happened numerous times. Lucy claims to have been the one that taught him how to fuck, a claim which Freddie refutes and says that he learned to fuck from porn.
This tunnel crawl is claustrophobic as hell, and I chuckled at Lucy saying her panic attack isn't authorized. Lord have mercy, what a work environment. These people should have killed their boss a lot quicker than they did in this movie. I'm just going to throw that out there. Lucy and Brandon crack me up how nonchalant they both are doing this cave exploration. Like, this is terrifying to me. Like, what is going on with them? I laughed at Freddie explaining what the DL is. Like, who doesn't know what down low? Like, come on, man. Brandon's run cracked me up, and him trying to play it off. He's doing it for the group, going out of the tunnel first. Like, why did Ed Helms get killed so early? He's super funny. I'd be so terrified, though, being stuck in this cave, literal nightmare fuel. You know, I've explored the caves in Mariana. Man, that's not the place that I would want to be stuck in. I'm just going to leave it at that. Lucy asking Brandon over and over if he's okay when there's thousands of pounds of rock on his body. Dude, I thought that was funny as hell, too. Billy is a damn idiot. I understand being scared, but beating on the rocks is literally the last thing you should do right now. Good point, Billy. No need to pay for a funeral if your bodies are never found, though. That's a good point. Saves your family a lot of money, I guess. Suspect that a man keeps a pic of another man in his wallet. Odd behavior, no matter how good CSI New York is, sir. Respectfully, of course. Lucy woke a man up to ask if he needs help sleeping. I kind of thought that was funny, too, to be honest. And now he's got Demi Moore throwing it at him, and he says, no, what in the world is going on with this guy? Go ahead.
I love that she's about to have a panic attack. Panic attack is not authorized. You know, that is how a lot of corporations treat their people and feel. You can deny it all you want. It's the case. These caves look pretty badass. Having been to some caves out in Arizona, or I guess that would have been right on the border there in Nogales, in that area. I was a little younger, so I don't remember exactly the location, but they were beautiful. They were fun. They were spooky. Also been to those caves in the Chattanooga area, which name is slipping me, but that was really freaking cool. So if you ever get a chance to go cave exploring with the right people, definitely go recommend doing that. Who eats a fucking clementine? I'll be over here eating a clementine on their own. What the fuck? Again, Ed Helms here was great. And just another nod to the on-screen chemistry for Freddie and Jess. I think it's a fun little dynamic duo that carries the through line of the movie. Now, there's a little commentary here ahead of its time on having to sell your personality, and that personality sucking. That happens a ton with a lot of these influencers. Like, once you remove the product and you are the product yourself, then you have to kind of find a niche. And if you don't, then your personality doesn't carry that weight, you go right back down the toilet, which it apparently appears that Demi Moore's character has done here. And I don't like that they kill Ed Helms right off rip, man. That's fucking crazy. I wasn't a fan of that. You know, that getting a day one title card right here, you know, felt late. But again, I get why, because up until this point, we're not supposed to believe that they're going to be stuck down here. I sent it in a group text, but this is like The Office meets The Descent. I think it's a combination I didn't know I needed in my life, but I'm glad that I have. And the fact that this bitch tries to turn this around as a team building opportunity got to be the most annoying shit in the world. I hate that kind of stuff. Aiden, the king of brow nosers, you fucking asshole. You are the king of brow nosers, man. I also, if I were this guy, I'm not handing over my Camelback with water in it. Fuck you. You have to come take that shit from my kung fu grip. No shot. I don't think so. And I love that Aiden, the Britney Spears voice telling him to stay strong. Yeah, I can't do a good Britney, but you know the vibes. But by the way, these two down here in a cave fucking with everybody there. You know, it's only fun when you do it and there's a potential for the kid to walk into the kitchen. That's the best time to be getting your freak on. Not in a cave full of people. What's wrong with you? That is so fucked up and rude. I would never. Anyway, last thing I have, if Demi Moore if Demi Moore woke up next to me and did this, I'd fold like fucking origami, brother. What is wrong with you, Freddie? I don't understand. It doesn't matter if it's this Demi Moore or 20 years ago Demi Moore. I'm folding quickly like a napkin. That's all I had.
Yeah, more good seeds planted when Freddie tells Jess the company is hemorrhaging money. And we get our first death. Brandon. Gotta say, getting crushed by rocks in a cave would be an awful way to go. May running in saying, I'm CPR certified to pronounce him dead. That was so absurd. Like, that's funny. Who cares, lady? I don't think CPR is going to help at this point.
Wasn't that Dwight? Like, that reminded me of Dwight so much.
Then the panic sets in. Imagine being stuck in a cave with people that you just tolerate because you work with them at best. Lucy continues to be annoying, making Aiden spit his gum out because he didn't have enough to go around, and making Billy hand over his Camelback. She would have had to get that in blood. Nope, come take it. Aiden hallucinating Britney Spears was hilarious, but to me, no way infection would have set in that fast and have him hallucinating already, so nah, but I'll allow it. I'm not a fan of Freddie's Gary Sinise bit here. I mean, it would have been funny, but I'm just hung up on why he would have his wallet open like that. It would have made more sense had it been more natural how she saw the picture or something. Like maybe he pulled out his wallet to grab something like a wet wipe, maybe, or anything, and that's how Jess saw the picture. Like no one would just have their wallet open and prop it up like a shrine after being in a cave for a few hours. Lucy waking Freddie up, that was funny. First of all, his willpower is stronger than mine because no way I could turn Demi Moore down. And secondly, the back and forth when he said they've taken it far enough was hilarious. Like what she said. No, we haven't done everything. Like that was funny. Still entertaining, albeit this wasn't the best set of scenes to me.
We get the Day 2 title card, and the groups begin to get hungry and fall apart even further. Lucy berades the birthday girl, Gloria, who is complaining of her lupus, and Jess has had enough. She stands up and tells the group the company is going under, and Freddie joins in to help. Lucy claims they're all in this together, and Derek has my usual response to that when my co-hosts say that they're all together and tells them he was going to quit on Monday. We also learned that it was Freddie's idea for the edible cutlery, and the group explained to him that his nickname, FT, actually means fuck toy, because they all know about them fucking. Freddie reveals that Lucy is actually Weinsteining him, and that cracked my ass up. We see Aiden hallucinate even further to the point to where he goes to the store, and Freddie begins to try to convince the group that they need to eat Brandon. As they begin to divvy out his body, they discover he's missing an arm, which is eventually found among Lucy's things. This causes a revolt as Jess takes the first bite of Brandon, expressing his chewiness. This is some wild scene by scene, by the way.
Yes, it
Is
is.
that not Angela? Like taking the arm, acting
Oh,
like
yeah.
she's against it, and then taking the arm for herself? That's Angela.
Oh, yeah.
This is The
Yep.
Office.
Yep.
I don't know who his Angela person is. Y'all talking about Sleepaway Camp right now?
Get out of
No,
here.
all of these people that have been saying are characters from The Office.
I know. I'm just joking.
Oh.
This makeshift birthday cake was thoughtful, but come on, Lucy. Everyone knows you never ask what the person wishes for blowing out the damn candle. Give me a break. Lucy is the worst boss ever, and good for Gloria calling her a bitch, finally. We're all in this together. That's a great line. I know Brian loves it. I wrote that down before you called it out, though. Sorry, man. But if you're a fan on social media or a listener, go tell Brian we're all in this together. That's his favorite line.
I'm quitting
Lucy-
on Monday.
Lucy might be the greatest gaslighter I've ever seen on screen, blaming all her employees for the company's failure. You know what? Blame somebody. The boss never takes any blame for that. Day 5 of being in a cave with coworkers sounds horrific. I don't know how they still alive without killing each other, to be honest. Love seeing Billy snapping on Lucy. He's 100% right. It is all Lucy's fault. Desperate times call for desperate measures. If they were going to eat Brandon's flesh, though, they should have done that days ago. He's probably spoiled by now. 5 days later. Ugh. Fun discourse, but like Brian mentioned, this was a hard movie to take notes on. If you swap the letters for team, it spells meat. I'm a simple man. I laughed at that for some reason. Lucy has to be the arm stealer, right? And she is. Calling his arm finger food, that was another thing that cracked me up. I thought that was funny as hell. If she did take Brandon's arm, how did the group not see her do it or where she hit it? Like, come on. Like, Demi Moore is not the biggest person. I don't know how she moved all them rocks to hide the thing. But anywho, after discovering she never turned in the caving permit, this group needs to revolt on her and just take her out. Like, I would be so fucking pissed at her right now.
And what has Lucy even eaten from the arm? It doesn't look like anything is even missing. And no way I'd eat 5 to 8 old flesh. Asking for poisoning. Can't handle that. My guts would sound like Mike Settles down there. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, I love this start that we get here. They've been kind of playing into Moore's illusions, or illusions, it'd be delusions now, up until now when they finally start standing up to her. And I really love this scene where they're all kind of standing up for themselves and surrounding her. And I love that Freddie and Jess, are kind of the leaders of that. I just think the scene is so fun. Normally, this kind of turning on the main person would come later in the movie. It comes pretty early here, and I thought it was really, really well done. Like, I thought they called him, or I thought you guys called me FT because of my initials. No, it's for fuck toy, which is hilarious. That reveal, but not real reveal, because everyone already knew that they were smashing, I thought was pretty clever there. And the fact that, to me, Moore of all people used the line, or excuse me, it was Freddie that used it. She Weinsteined me, which is crazy because that was pretty much the height of this Weinstein stuff as far as like the case and everything. That's pretty interesting that they threw that in there that early. I just loved everything about it. By the way, after the 5th day, sweet Jesus, man, just eat me. I volunteer. I don't want to live like this. I don't have that kind of will. Maybe I do. I don't know. Probably not, though. Fuck, man. Also, this is 100% Lucy's fault. Fuck Lucy. I kind of like how mean they're all being to her because, like I mentioned in my opening set of scenes, this is literally the worst kind of boss. I hate working for these kind of people. He didn't listen to the show. I had one of those at GNC. Fuck that. Everything was an opportunity. No, man. Some things just suck ass. And you got to move on. Like, work's not always going to be the joy of my life. Sorry. I don't live enslaved for this stuff. That's not how this works. Aiden kind of corporate talking to himself in the corner cracked me up. My girl here doesn't want to eat Brandon because they had sex. That is not a valid reason to him not be the one that they ate. That is a perfectly valid reason to do it. You're the only one here. If you don't want to eat him, fine. But the rest of us, we're golden corralling this shit. It's a buffet. I just really hope I'm never faced with the thought I'm never hope I'm faced with just straight up cannibalism being my only option. At least have a fire of some kind where I could cook it. I don't know. It's all disgusting. I'd like to not think about it. A nice little snacks arm is hilarious. He called it munching on finger food. I fucking love this guy. To me, more in this scene though, when a little sweaty with the white shirt. Call me sometime. I love how she uses the line, "His nutrients should be mine." That's hilarious. And again, just love that they all turn on her here. They circle around her. And after Jess eats them, she calls it definitely a chewy dish. I thought that was a funny line. That's all I had.
Yeah, Lucy here reminded me so much of Michael Scott. I mean, she's just like a more mean-spirited and self-centered Michael Scott. I wrote that in my notes before I knew you drew the comparisons, Brian, so that's funny. But everyone turning on each other is very believable as the panic continues to set in. Freddie being called Lucy's human dildo is hilarious, and so is him saying she Weinsteined him. Bro, the first time I watched this movie, when she said, "I did not Weinstein you," like, I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard. But the funniest part of it all was when Lucy said, "If women can't be as horrible as men, then what's feminism for?" And Billy goes, "That's a fresh take on an old idea." I love that. That's hilarious. Then the conversation about eating Brandon was funny. The premise of deciding to eat someone mixed with everyone still being at each other's necks, and Aiden just, ordering some to-go food at the Rock. There's a lot going on here. Aiden going to the store was so funny too. Like, bro's gone. The discovery of Brandon's missing arm was great. And then the discovery that Lucy had it and she never turned in the caving permit. She's the worst. And it really ramps up the intensity of the situation. Just taking the first bite of the arm. Look, I get it. It's a bleak situation, but you don't know if you're going to get out alive. But I would have had to be down there a lot longer than 2 days before I ate a human arm. That's just me. We're moving along, and I'm still laughing.
A fresh take on an old idea sounds 100% like something Dustin would say. That's a Dustinism, 100%. A day 6 title card finds us having put Lucy in a prison for her crimes, And the situation becomes worse when the generator runs out of power, plunging the group into darkness. Lucy has the lone working headlamp, as we also see Aiden has created a wearable kinetic charger, which is clearly created by jacking off. He calls it a wank band. Freddy convinces Billy and Jess to explore the cave that goes down in an attempt to find an exit. Once down in the cave, they find another, smaller cavern with a small puddle of water, I guess. In the water, they see tiny newts, and against Jess's protests, Billy and Freddy eat one of them, causing both to vomit violently. Back in the cave, we see Susie and May, who have started fucking. On the trip, have a bit of a meltdown as May can't get over the fact that Susie shared earlier that she had fucked Brandon, the tour guide. We're left with Aiden hallucinating his wound singing Britney Spears' Toxic to him. Go ahead, Nico.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a heads up, Dustin. I don't have much on this set of scenes. Lucy being put in a makeshift prison, I thought it was funny, but why is the group wasting energy to make this? Like, go sit down and conserve your energy and, like, burn up your hydration. Like, come on now. Being in a pitch black cave is horrifying. Like I mentioned, I went to the caves in Mariana, and they had a segment where they turned all the lights off. It's the darkest dark you'll ever experience. It's what Stevie Wonder sees every day. Freddie's story about his wife's heir still being in the ball is cool, but all this convo just drags and loses me. Just go into the tunnels and try and find a way out. And this is the last thing I got. Not many notes, but this guy's wound looking like a cooter and singing Toxic by Britney Spears. It caught me off guard, and this movie started to lose me here. But go ahead.
Yeah, not a whole lot on this set here. You know, the fact that they're betting on stuff, the betting they're putting up is hilarious. They really did eat Brandon though. I mean, he is fucking torn to pieces. I like that we get this wank band. That the only way to make this fucking electricity work is basically jacking off. That shit is hilarious, man. And I know what Freddie said, but I think I'd rather be dead. I'd rather be dead, or sorry, it's not Freddie. He's the one that tries to get him to go down. Everyone else that argued against. No, man, I'd rather go down there, find out, and if I end up dying, better than sitting my ass up here, because the only thing I want to do up here is be dead. So I might as well move around a little bit if I can. I do like the choice of having the lights go out here for the most part. I think that kind of adds a little creepiness to the movie when it was kind of lacking. Again, this is a horror comedy very loosely, in my opinion. There's a lot more comedy than horror, but the lights going out adds a little something for sure. The fact that this Claire speech from Freddie was fake and from CSI cracked me up. That line was great. I will say, spend a little too much time walking down with them into the caves. I just thought, it was fine. And I wouldn't drink this water to save my life. I'm not eating these newts like they're apparently fucking Cheetos like the rest of them did. I'm not doing any of that. No fucking thank you. Not gonna lie. My girl here is being needy. She had sex with Brandon. It was before them. I don't see the issue. That's not a lie. You didn't ask me about that. You never said anything. I don't understand that. I really don't. And last thing I had, the fucking Britney Spears singing Through the Wound is fucking hilarious. It is phenomenal. I loved every bit of that. That's all I had.
Man, they really did a number on Brandon. I mean, they tore him up. And I got a good laugh when Freddie gives the emotional story to convince Billy to help. And the rest of the crew is like, yeah, go, Billy. We need a break from you. And then we find out Freddie's whole speech was just a quote from CSI New York again. Like, it's just absurd. And it made me laugh. When they find the water, I would probably be inclined to start chugging it too. So I can't really fault them for that. So I'd probably be puking my guts up too, although it may have been the newts that made them sick. And last thing I got is Aiden's leg wound singing Toxic by Britney Spears. That takes the cake for the wildest thing in the movie so far.
So far. Back in the adjoining cavern, Freddy and Billy are tripping balls after eating the obviously toxic newts. Freddy is seeing Brandon covered in pepperonis, and sidebar, I can't imagine how the outtakes to this movie are. I need to look that shit up, because I bet Ed Helms can't keep a straight face here. I've seen all his Office outtakes. That dude, I bet you, is dying here. After the acid trip, we see the three find light and hopefully a way out as they climb further into the passageway. The light was only Aiden's headlamp, and they realized they just made a complete circle back to the group. The group begin to argue about who would get whose body parts as they start talking about killing people to eat them, led by Lucy. Jess has fucking had it with her, and after another blow up where Lucy reveals she only hired them all because of affirmative action and the extra money she was getting for doing so. And the next set of scenes is the ending.
Yeah, I started off this set of scenes asking 2 questions. What the hell is this Freddy imagining Brandon scene? And then my next question is, Dustin, what the hell am I watching now? But you can answer that in your turn. Billy is naked now. Oh my goodness, we're just off the tracks. This escalated a lot. If I did all that crawling through tunnels, just end up back in the same room, that would have been my 13th reason. I'd have picked a rock up and just dropped it on my head, and I'm done. Derek saying he wants to eat an ass cheek, preferably the left one. That got me. Thought that was funny. I don't know why the left ass cheek is more delicious, but I don't know. I don't eat ass. This movie is super dark and pretty hard to see anything. That was what?
Grow up.
This is going to get a bad Apple podcast review. I can feel it in my bones. But ask me if I care. I don't care. Now Derek is offering some of his piss for others to drink. What is going on right now? You're supposed to only drink your piss. Didn't y'all ever watch Man vs. Wild? Bear Grylls said you drink your piss. Freddy getting called a cuck and revealing he likes things put in his ass was outrageous. I don't know what just happened in the past 2 set of scene by scenes. Lucy is unbearable. Why hasn't the majority jumped her by now? I'm ready for the end. The movie has gotten a little bit monotonous and very ridiculous at moments, but I've laughed a few times.
Yeah, this hallucination scene is pretty great. It's something right out of Beau is Afraid to me. I thought it was really, really funny and visually pretty cool. I know it's because he's like hungry and thirsty, and that's what happens when you stay that many days down there. But I've also heard cannibalism can kind of lean into that hallucination part of the brain, so I'm sure that's not great. I can't believe my man turns around to Jess here and goes, I can't believe you saw my cock. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's just a lot of really funny one-liners in this movie. And by the way, after 9 days, please someone eat me. I'm all the way out. I don't want to live this way for 9 days in a row. I know, first world problem. That's exactly what this is, 100%. I love that Aiden is still jerking his hand. He's been jerking his hand for like 4 days. It's fucking fantastic. Having Lupus in a cave would fucking suck. And excluding Lucy from being able to eat her, I thought was a funny choice. And my guy in the same thing asked for an ass cheek out of her. Please, he basically said, "I'd like an ass cheek." And then he goes to drink it. He goes to piss in a bottle after trying to get other people to drink his own piss, and says, "This is all I could muster. Anybody want some?" Golly, it was awesome. The punishment for writing bad poetry. If that were the case, there'd be a lot of death. Just saying. A lot of poetry stinks. Anyway, not to poop on poetry or poems. I like poetry. Okay. All right. I'm not going to do a poem right now. I tried to think of one on the spot, but I couldn't. I'm going to knit the most amazing sweater, which was a great little riff from Freddy there. And when he admitted to everyone in front, I even liked it when you put things up my butt. What's wrong with that, brother? Oh, sorry. Anyway, last thing I have, this movie's ahead of its time with its commentary on affirmative action. It's about 4 years ahead of its time. That was such a big thing in this past election and this past political cycle, revisiting that and all that. I thought it was very ahead of its time with this commentary. So that's all I had.
Yeah, Freddy's hallucination here one-ups Aiden's singing leg wound. It's just completely ridiculous. Billy, though. Billy had a much worse trip. Stripping naked and ranting about Hitler's boots. It's hard to come back from that. If you make it out, you got to quit jobs and move cities. Like, this is rough. I will say, the hallucinations that we've seen between Freddy and Billy here, maybe they're losing their mind because they've been in the dark cave without food and water for so long, but also that water may have had something in it, like some kind of chemicals or something that made them hallucinate. I don't know. Going through all that and winding up right back where you started, that's a literal nightmare. Here we are at day 9. It would really be hard for me to find a reason to keep living at this point. It was funny seeing the group plot about who they're going to eat next, and Gloria making out the will. I thought was great, but I had to pause it the first time I watched this movie, and I had to pause it when I did my notes for this. When Derek comes back with his pee bottle and says, "Butt ass cheek and a swig of this won't be no talking on both jaws," and Billy's confused. What? Like, dude, I had to pause it because I was laughing so hard. I don't know why that got me like it did, but just won't be no talking on both jaws. What? Like, that was so funny to me. Freddie and Jess going off on Lucy provided some good and entertaining back and forth, and yeah, I'm ready for the finish here.
Dude, is he not Stanley too? I mean, like, I think that they just took all the actors here. All right, here it is. Here's the ending here. Lucy attacks Jess, and Freddie ends up pushing Lucy in an effort to help her. Lucy falls and hits her head on a rock on the ground, becoming immobile. The group begins to finally hear a drill, and during the celebration, and as she lies on the ground, Lucy threatens to charge Freddie with attempted manslaughter, while also belittling him further. He tells Jess, who informs the group, who all decide that Lucy needs to die. They decide to move a gigantic boulder as a team in much the same way they tried to do at the start, except this time they join together, and just as the drill punches through the top of the cave, they're able to push the boulder onto Lucy, crushing her head in a great show. In the ensuing interview, the group recounts their experience lying about Lucy and Brandon's behavior, so everything ends on a good note. And I didn't write it in my scene by scene, but the rosebud part, is that what he rosebud, is that what he called or she called it? That made me cracked my ass up, dude.
It did me too. Sorry, Nico, I'll let you go. But I had just watched Citizen Kane not long before I watched this movie. And so Rosebud being your final word, like, that's the whole plot of that movie. And so I got a good laugh out of that.
All right, I don't have much here, Dustin. Just giving you a heads up. Thank you, Jess. Finally whooped Lucy's ass. Goodness. I'm pretty tired of Freddie's nonstop yapping to Lucy. Man, shut up. What man talks this much? Good Lord. Leland Orser is one of our rescue men. He sneakily made his third appearance on our show, the first two being Seven and the Bone Collector. Or Bone Collector. What is that? I don't remember. I wonder what my first meal would be when I got out of the cave, though. Like, have any of y'all ever thought about that? Like, surviving something, what your first meal would be? Isaiah Whitlock is funny, denying him eating some of Brandon's body. Like, come on, man. And this last thing I got, of course, Freddie has to yap more about Lucy. The whole team working together, making up a lie on the spot, though, how Lucy died. I thought that was a fun ending. Go ahead, Dustin.
So
Smash burgers and fries. That's what I would do.
Well, I was going to say, so my what I would eat is, I would imagine the same thing I would request for my last meal if I was on death row. Give me biscuits and gravy. Give me chicken Alfredo. Give me a 20-piece McNugget from McDonald's, and give me a homemade baked apple pie.
Eating Alfredo from Domino's, gang?
No, hey, Domino's, you and I know Domino's Alfredo is really good, but no, I would want some homemade, like some good top quality chicken Alfredo. Also, slide me a 10-piece lemon pepper wing too, extra wet.
Damn.
My dog said he wants some chicken in every version.
Oh, shit.
If it's my last meal, that's why it's my death row. Like, if it's my last meal, I don't care don't coddle your gut, especially on death row.
Yeah, last thing I have here. I like this ending. I thought it was fine. I kind of, it's funny about, I don't know how you expect a movie like this to end except everybody dying, which would have been somewhat funny. I mean, I don't know why everyone was worried about how she was going to die. Just kill the bitch. No one's down there with you. They'll never know. They're not going to investigate. You could just say a fucking boulder rolled on her head. That sucked. I'm sorry that it happened. Just kill her. That's all I would say, because they didn't have a great plan to do it with. I love that her last words are the nickname for Freddie's dick. I thought it was a fun kill too. The drill coming just in time. Of course it did. That's honestly, in a comedy, you can get away with doing anything that you want. I like the way that everyone kind of tries to pass blame for eating Brandon when it was clearly a group choice to go ahead and eat the guy that didn't fucking know, especially having his wife, girlfriend there, like questioning it and then being okay with it. And all the lies they told in this presser, I thought the closing presser was really, really funny.
Lucy falling and hitting her head was false hope. Like, I had hoped she was dead here. She's not yet. And I laugh that every time we cut to Aiden, he's still whacking it. Like he's still, every time we see him, even in the background of shots, he's still whacking his arm. Like that is chef's kiss. That's good. The logic of having to figure out a story to tell the cops is crazy. I mean, she was attacking Jess and Freddie was breaking it up and she tripped. That's what happened. Tell the cops that. But maybe they're just being delirious from being down there that long, so they panicked. I don't know. Lucy saying Rosebud on her deathbed, like in Citizen Kane, was so funny. And then she said what Rosebud was for her. It's very different than Citizen Kane. It's also hilarious to me. Like Citizen Kane is widely regarded as a top 5 movie ever. Not to me, but widely regarded. And that them drawing inspiration from Citizen Kane in a movie like Corporate Animals is just, it's perfect. Like they're both movies that exist, and that's incredible to me. And then she finally dies. Good riddance, and great look on the splatter too. I thought that looked good. The press conference was funny. Great way to end. Aiden blurting out that they ate Brandon and his fiance's right there. What's her name saying that we all knew Brandon equally, the same amount. Like that was funny because she's like, oops, he's got a fiance. Derek denying eating Brandon, and that it's just all funny stuff, good stuff. It's far from perfect. It's not a perfect movie, but it's so entertaining to me. So I can't not like it. Like if you can make me entertained, that's the purpose of movies. So
Dude, don't forget you said that. I'm just glad cinephile Dustin still has love for movies like this. This is what that's what I'm just impressed by.
Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and my you can wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Sometimes I wake up on the non-pretentious side of the bed and I watch stuff like this.
Wow.
He's about to start watching some like French black and white films pretty soon. Tell us how great they are. Can't wait.
No. I watched It Happened One Night today before we did this. And then the next movie that's on my list to watch is Midnight Cowboy. Great movie. And after that's A Beautiful Mind. So I'm going to get back into the culture stuff.
Have you ever seen Hoja Blah Blah Blah? It's a great.
Come on, you've at least heard of A Beautiful Mind, right? Come on.
I have heard of A Beautiful Mind.
Russell Crowe's one of the great actors of our time.
Is he though?
You don't think so? I really do think so.
I don't know. I don't think.
I love Russell Crowe.
I mean, he's good, but I mean, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
I haven't seen enough of Russell Crowe, but I think he's a good actor. But anywho, I hate to say it, but I don't think any of us have any social media comments and questions. I don't have anything on Instagram.
Nope.
Dustin picked the sleeper of sleepers.
Twitter was blowing up. We got about 30 comments. People saying this is snubbed for best pick or best picture at the Oscars.
You gonna read them off?
I accidentally deleted them. So.
Oh damn.
Man, hate that. Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it sucks when that happens. Y'all got any fun facts?
I do.
It's like when remember
Go
like
ahead,
in The
Dustin.
Hangover, since shout out Ed Helms, when Zach Galifianakis is walking around, darn it, shoot.
All right. Ed Helms revealed during an appearance on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show that during the making of this film, his publicist called and said that there was rumors floating around that Helms was having an affair with co-star Demi Moore, and the publicist wanted to know if that was true. Helms denied it, saying that he was a happily married man, and after the call, he began to freak out a bit, realizing he needed to let his wife know. But when he told her and his mother about this story, they just laughed and said, Demi Moore, high five. They thought it was hilarious that anyone would think that he and Moore would be a couple. Bro, the disrespect, I'd be filing for a divorce that day.
It'd be my mission to like try and hook up with her at that point.
Yeah, I took that personally.
Yeah.
This movie was shot in 18 days, so that's pretty impressive. They pulled that off. I mean, really just one location, so that makes sense. Britney Spears' voice cameo was recorded in secrecy. The main cast didn't even know about it, about her involvement at all, until the film's premiere at Sundance. That's pretty remarkable. Like that had to be a good surprise for the cast. And then last one I've got is that Ed Helms was in the movie Tag with Thomas Middleditch, who was in Once Upon a Time in Venice with David Arquette.
I don't watch Tag, but
it's fun.
I always see a preview and I'm like, I'd like to probably watch that.
It's funny. That's how I am with Game Night. I see everybody talking about how funny
Yeah,
Game Night is, and I
it is
just, for
funny.
whatever reason, I just haven't seen it.
It is funny.
I mean, yeah, I think both of those movies are great. Just kidding. All right, let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Dustin, I'll go first. You can go later. We'll end on a better note.
Dustin, I'll go first.
Well, I started thinking it's like it's your movie, so I'm not gonna make you go first. Favorite kill, I will go with Brandon getting crushed by rocks. That's a bad way to go out. Then all your comrades are eating on your flesh. You're joking about eating your left booty cheek. That's wild. Least favorite kill, Lucy. They should have killed her viciously, like took it out on her. She was a bitch. I think the movie is funny. It's worth a watch, but I don't know. The movie just loses me. It gets monotonous. There's a lot of dialogue, and it just gets a little bit ridiculous at the end. I gave it what the IMDb gave it, 4.5.
Okay. I'll go ahead and go. Favorite kill was the opposite of Nico. Lucy was my favorite kill because she was the worst, and the blood splatter looked good. Least favorite was Brandon because I wanted more Ed Helms in the movie, and man died and then got eaten. That's a rough way to go. As far as my rating, like, this is a good look at corporate mindset and the animal instincts of people when backed into a corner and left with few options. I laughed pretty much start to finish, but it's far from a perfect movie. It's something I can just put on as background noise and just enjoy without having to lock in for it. I gave it a 6.5.
Okay, my favorite kill was Lucy's head splat because I agree it looked well, and my least favorite kill was Brandon, but not because I wanted more Ed Helms. It was just because you didn't see anything. That was why it wasn't my favorite. But I don't know. I like Ed Helms a lot, but I think Ed Helms is so good. He might have stolen the show, and I didn't want to change a whole lot else. So I mean, I really liked some of the other characters, and I feel like Ed Helms is just such a big character. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, again, I had a lot of fun with this one. I said this in my open, but it reminded me of a long episode of The Office, which I love. And I also said this in our group message. If you don't like the movie, you probably won't like The Office, and vice versa. It's an easy watch. I recommend anyone to do so, especially with my sense of humor. And I know I kind of compared it to Leslie Vernon, but that was just only because we did that review a week ago. I like this exponentially more. Although I did enjoy that one too. I had this lower, but I had such a fun time doing this scene by scene. I upped it to a 7.5.
Ooh, 7.5.
Yeah. So, this movie had a few good kills, nothing like, super creative, but that's not really the point of the movie. I would say that Lucy is the best kill, right? Just because, she fucking sucked, and I like the boulder or the big rock on the head kill. I thought that was good. And unfortunately, Ed Helms died early, so that would be my least favorite kill there, would be Brandon. All the things I said in my intro are still true. Thought it was really funny. This is it's almost not horror comedy, but you can't really have a cannibalism stuck in a cave movie without it being somewhat horrifying. So I definitely think this falls into the category. Really good pick. In a free month, why the hell not? Open up to something new. So again, I'm glad that Dustin picked it because I would have never watched this movie without that. So that's why I'm glad that we decided to do this show, right? So all that being said, I gave this movie an 8, a flat 8. I thought it was really, really funny for my enjoyment factor. I'm making my wife watch it again this weekend. She doesn't know that, but she will be. And so I'm very excited to watch it again and laugh out loud because it was a lot of fun.
All right. That gives us a composite score of 6.625. IMDb has it, as Nico said, a 4.5. Letterboxd 2.5. Rotten Tomatoes, only 25% of critics thought that it was a positive, or gave it a positive review. So to the 75%, I will say, get off your high horse, have some fun.
Yeah. All right, I'll shout out our blood donors, and then we're going to be starting a new month, but it's still another free themed month, and Brian can announce his pick. We appreciate all of our blood donors sincerely. It means a lot to us. It takes a huge burden off of us, helping us pay the bills, hosting our website, paying for the streaming, what we record our platform on. So your money goes to good use, and we appreciate it. Camper Level Reoccurring, Nina, the Horror Movie Crew podcast, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, and Matt from the UK. It still blows my mind we got a blood donor from the United Kingdom. That's crazy. Camp Counselor reoccurring, Edwin Hernandez-Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis from a Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Madison Arzola, and Casey Smith. We appreciate all of y'all sincerely. It means a lot to us. Check y'all's emails too. I think Brian's been hooking y'all up with some cool stuff. Brian, announce your pick for our next free theme month.
Okay. So it's pretty famously talked about on very many episodes of this show on how I am the lone wolf and the Jon Snow of liking the original Cloverfield movie. And these guys are in the minority, just like Mike talked about us being the minority in Bates Motel. You guys are in the minority. But we're not talking about Cloverfield, the first one. We're going back to the franchise, though. And we're going to 10 Cloverfield Lane, which many people, many people, if they didn't like the first one, which you're the only people I've ever heard not like the first one.
You're welcome.
The second one is a completely different movie. So I have a feeling you guys will like this one since you didn't like the original. I like them both. Just don't watch the third one. It's awful.
I mean, I'm excited about this one. It's got John Goodman and Bradley Cooper in it. So
Bradley Cooper is not in 10
Bradley
Cloverfield
Cooper.
Lane.
Bradley Cooper's not in that.
he's listed on the IMDb page.
Oh, well,
He plays
I don't.
Ben.
Maybe he is, but I don't remember him at all. It's been a long time since I watched it. If so, it's been maybe it is him, and I didn't recognize him.
I just watched it the other day. It's not him. It's it's John Gallagher Jr.
He plays Emmett.
Ben. Who is Ben? I don't remember Ben.
I don't.
You tell me IMDb got it wrong.
No,
Wait
you're
a
not
second.
wrong.
Hold on. Bradley.
All
Bradley
those
Cooper
times that IMDb had low scores for movie I like, yeah, they're not above reproach.
Listen,
they get things wrong.
I'm just going to put this out there. John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and John Gallagher Jr. are pretty much the only three people you see this movie. So if Bradley Cooper's in it, it's for a very quick moment.
Who?
I mean, he's got him on here
Bradley
as
Cooper.
Ben, but I don't know who the fuck Ben is.
I'm looking at 10 Cloverfield Lane. When y'all were both thrown off on me saying that, it made me think, did I just get duped? Is that another actor whose name happens to be Bradley Cooper? Is that the right Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, I don't know where Bradley Cooper comes into play in this movie.
No, I watched it the other day.
I haven't watched it in a long
remember
time, so
seeing-
maybe he's got some
a,
secret role somewhere.
You got a lot of Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it. I'm not mad at it.
Regardless if Bradley Cooper's in or not, I'm looking forward to this one because there's no way it's worse than the first one. So let's go.
It's way better to me. I was just going to spoil it now.
Yeah, there we go.
But we'll get into that next week. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Any final thoughts on Corporate Animals? And shout out to the friend of the show, Patrick Bryce.
Yeah, I was going to say support Patrick Bryce. He's a super cool guy, and this is a fun movie. Fast X.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,